A very good evening to you. Thank you very much for joining us on Kivumbi 2017, this 31st day of July. We're so glad you've made the time to be with us tonight. My name is Yvonne Okwara Matole, and we are just tonight launching our election headquarters, from where you will get every detail of this election right here as it unfolds on this 7 days to the election that is on the 8th of August. We have our top stories for you. We also have our reporters across the country. Of course, the Kivumbi 2017 caravan began today in 2 different parts of the country. We have Meru, and we're also in Kajiado. We'll be telling you where those are, and our reporters there as well. We also do have Ben Kitili, who's here. He'll be having our summit conversations. That's something you don't want to miss. In addition, Joy Doreen Bira will be taking a look at what is happening on social media. Like we have said this evening, this is an election that has taken place largely as well, a campaign that has taken place largely as well on social media. So she will be focusing on those conversations, fake news, and a number of other things that may determine this election. In addition to our locations, we will also be having our super panels here every night, starting tonight all the way up until election night. Joe Ageo is standing by. We'll be revealing our super panel to you in just a moment. This is one of the most consequential elections in the history of the country. And that date with destiny is now just 7 days away. Tonight, we're unveiling our wall-to-wall coverage of the country's second general election under the 2010 Constitution. Good evening. Welcome to the third hour of Kivumbi 2017. Let me now take you to my colleague, Ben Kitili. As promised, who will be hosting political summits right here throughout the week. Ben?
That's right, Yvonne. In a week's time, the voter out there will be separating the proverbial wheat from the chaff. And I will be here at the summit all week long until election night, speaking to political players who have been at the thick of presidential campaigns. But that is definitely not all we'll be doing right here at our election HQ. Joe.
Political pundits in the land in what we like to call our super panel. Sad to say, it will begin on this dark day in which the man managing the IEBC election technology has been found dead under chilling circumstances. Just who have been behind the gruesome murder? And where does this now leave the preparations for the August 8th general election? We'll get some perspectives from our panel here in about an hour's time.
Featuring detailed analysis, detailed documentaries on the key issues and personalities that have characterized this election cycle. Here, we will break down poll numbers and key projections as the day approaches and give you up-to-the-minute results when the counting is done. Tonight, we begin a week-long Kivumbi 2017 caravan covering several counties across the land. Our first 2 stops tonight are Kajiado and Meru, where Sharon Momanyi and Mashirima Kapombe are holding fort, albeit for tonight. We shall also have our much-loved active street ballot from both locations. So, they will be coming on a little bit later on, but like we said, Joy Doreen Bira is also focusing on social media and the effect it would have on this election. Joy?
That's right, Yvonne. And in the age of fake news and the rise of social media, our politicians smelling the coffee. In this space, we will be having conversations with people who know a thing or two about how the new phenomenon could well be a game changer on August 8th. And we'll also be keeping an eye on what you have to say on all social media platforms. Which one is it that is your favorite? We've got Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Skype, FaceTime, and WhatsApp. All these social sites we will be monitoring. And our Twitter poll question today actually resonates with what we asked on the streets. Go online and join the conversation. Here's our question for you tonight. What is the most important issue for you this election? Is it the cost of living? Is it security? Is it health? Or is it corruption? Or maybe there are many other reasons you might have that are most important to you this election. Do let us know under the hashtag Kivumbi 2017. My name is Joy Doreen Bira.
That's right. Thank you, Joy. This is all happening right here on KTN News, the only 24-hour news channel in East Africa. And so over the next few days, we will come to you because this election is about you. It's about your children. It's about your future, your hopes and your dreams. So let's now begin with the day's top stories. Shock as the body of missing IEBC manager Chris Msando is found.
It is painful for us in the extreme to have to report that Chris was severely tortured.
Outrage over the killing of the IEBC manager.
I demand from the government that they provide security for all employees of IEBC.
Wafula Chebukati now demands security for all IEBC staff. Also tonight, the first batch of the ballot papers arrives a week to the general election. Thank you very much for joining us on Kivumbi 2017. This evening, just 7 days to the general election. Welcome to our broadcast tonight. Our sign language interpreter is William Silla. Tonight, dozens of questions remain unanswered following the discovery of the body of IEBC ICT manager Chris Msando, who had been missing since Friday. Msando's body was identified by family members this afternoon at the city mortuary in Nairobi, a day after he was declared missing and officially reported missing. The body had been taken to the mortuary on Saturday after it was discovered in Kikuyu with injuries that point to torture before he died. Rita Tinina begins our bulletin this evening with that report.
When his car, a Land Rover Discovery, was discovered intact, abandoned in Roysambu in the wee hours of Monday morning, his family, friends and colleagues held on to hope that Chris Msando would also be found alive. But that was not to be. At the city mortuary Monday afternoon, family, friends and top IEBC officials led by Chairman Wafula Chebukati gathered, and the worst fears were confirmed. Chris Msando was dead. His body was positively identified by his family. According to records, his body was taken to the city mortuary in Nairobi at 25 minutes past 11 on Saturday morning after being discovered in Kikuyu, Kiambu County, with injuries which experts say may point to torture and strangulation. A broken right arm, injuries to the head and neck.
There's no doubt that he was tortured and murdered. I know post-mortem will be done. In our mind as a commission, the only issue is who killed him and why. And that's a question that must be answered.
His body was later transferred to the Lee Funeral Home. His disappearance was announced in a statement on Sunday by IEBC Chairman Wafula Chebukati, who said Msando was last seen on Friday night and had sent an SMS to his colleague at 3 a.m. on Saturday morning.
Chris was one of the most dedicated employees of IEBC in the ICT sector. He was the driving stone in the IEBC sector. But he leaves behind a team at IEBC, whom he has trained, who will carry on his work.
Msando took over the role of the IEBC ICT director after James Muhati was sent on a 1-month compulsory leave for failing to cooperate with the audit department. Msando was one man with proper knowledge of what the Kenya Integrated Election Management System is all about.
Na pia tuko naye Chris Msando ambaye ni mtaalamu wa teknolojia katika tume ya
He spent some 2 hours on KTN News on Friday evening, outlining how the August polls will be different, how they will be foolproof.
Mitambo iko sawa?
Mitambo iko sawa kabisa. Unangoja tarehe 8 mwezi wa Agosti.
Mashini zote ziko zimetayarishwa.
Kila kitu iko sawa, sisi tuko ready.
He had also appeared on the Roundtable show on KTN News in April this year, outlining the same issues, how the KM system has sealed all the loopholes.
One of the major things that we were using as a yardstick was, let's close the gaps of 2013. Let's make sure when we do this new technology, we are addressing the problems that occurred in 2013.
Msando is said to have reported to the police that his life was in danger after receiving death threats. His mysterious death, coming just a week to the elections, leaves many questions unanswered. Just who would want the ICT expert out of the way and why? Rita Tinina, KTN News.
And so that's our top story this evening right here on Kivumbi 2017. And tonight, it's not a yes or no question on our Big Q. We're just asking you to share your thoughts about the Chris Msando murder. Please share with us your thoughts on the Chris Msando murder. You can do that on Twitter at KTN News, at Yvonne Okwara. The hashtag we're using today and every day is Kivumbi 2017. You can also send us a text message if you wish to the number 22155. It is absolutely free to do so. Would love to hear from you and share your thoughts during this live broadcast. So right here, we want to continue with our top story on that. And tonight, IEBC Chair Wafula Chebukati is demanding security for all his staff following Chris Msando's killing.
We are a few days from elections, and we all know it's the duty of the government to provide security for all Kenyans. And at this point in time, I demand from the government that they provide security for all employees of IEBC for us to give Kenyans a free and fair election. We are working with the police and the family to ensure that the killers of Chris Msando must be brought to book. As a commission, we are looking forward that all Kenyans must be secured, all employees of IEBC must be secured for this country to have a free and fair election.
All right, and I want to bring you up to date with the reactions to the death of Chris Msando, who's ICT manager at the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. Reactions have been coming in, including from a number of individuals, the UK High Commissioner as well as the US Ambassador. But let's take a look at this one from a Senator of Baringo County, Gideon Moi, who... and also that reaction from NASA presidential candidate Raila Odinga, saying this is a stain on our conscience as Kenyans, and he says justice will be done. Just to go back to that one by Gideon Moi, the senator for Baringo County, he, of course, condemning that murder, saying it's inhumane and the government must enhance security. That is just one of the reactions also from the Ambassador of the United States and the High Commissioner of the United Kingdom, both of them issuing a joint statement saying they're gravely concerned by the murder of the IEBC Systems Development Manager, pointing out that it is critical that Kenya have free, fair and credible and peaceful elections, and they're offering their assistance in the investigations should the Kenyan security authorities require it. All right, Director of Criminal Investigations Ndegwa Muhoro is asking Kenyans to desist from speculation over Msando's murder. Muhoro is asking for sobriety as investigations continue. He has also revealed the identity of the slain attacker who carried out the attack on the Deputy President William Ruto's Sugoi home after engaging police officers for more than 18 hours. The lone gunman was named as Muhammad Ibrahim Mahmoud from Dandu village, Mandera East Sub-County.
Our officers are supported by the homicide team on the case to retrace the movement of the deceased right from the time he left office, and any other movements that he might have made in the course of the day for us to get to know at what point or who are involved with this heinous act.
In line with that director?
I would just say, unfortunately, at times we like speculating a lot, pointing fingers, and almost, pointing fingers in the wrong direction. But I want to say that we are professional investigators. They'll pursue all leads available and possible to get to the bottom of this. I'll put in my best team, and if the need be, we'll seek support from elsewhere. But I'm very confident that we have a team that is able to unravel this. They have done it before. I don't see why we can't do it now.
And like we mentioned, the reactions are coming in from other countries as well. Let's now remind you about that reaction from the UK and the US that I'd mentioned earlier. The United Kingdom High Commissioner Nick Haley and US Ambassador Robert Godek have offered their assistance in the investigation of the murder of Chris Msando. In a joint statement, the two envoys say they welcome the Kenyan government's commitment to investigate the murder. Godek and Haley say the protection of IEBC staff is critical in the achievement of free, fair, credible and peaceful elections on the 8th of August. Meanwhile, NASA leaders have condemned the brutal murder of the late Chris Msando, who was reported missing on Saturday. In a press statement issued after Msando's body was identified by his family at the city mortuary, the leaders demanded that proper security detail be provided for the IEBC commissioners as the country gears towards the elections. The late Msando was set to spearhead the public testing of the results transmission system today to avoid a repeat of the 2013 polls technology failure.
It is painful for us in the extreme to have to report that Chris was severely tortured. We do not, at this moment, wish to add to the anguish of his family by giving more details. Mr. Msando had actually made reports to the police a number of times, particularly at the Central Police Station, indicating that his life was in danger. We are totally confident that this terrible crime will accomplish the opposite and strengthen all Kenyans who will demand to have a free and fair and credible election.
And in Siaya County, from where Msando hailed, the village of Lifunga is in mourning. The villagers now want the government to get to the root of his killing.
Villagers at the home of the deceased, Lifunga village in Siaya County, they've just received the sad news this afternoon. One by one, they arrived at the home to condole with the family. The deceased went missing last week, and villagers here have been hoping that he'll be found alive.
We have received this news with a lot of shock, and it's very unfortunate that we have lost a very good person, a very prominent person in our area. And we are very sorry for what has gone on. We ask our people to remain calm, wait for any news that will come about his death. We want the police and any other person concerned to give us, at least do some investigation and give us the correct version of his death.
It is a sad day for us since we got this information. We were far, but we had to reach and console with the family because it is very sad indeed. We are still searching our souls to get the mistake he did, to make him reach where he has reached. It is not even easy to say rest in peace, because this is not all about resting in peace. You are resting in pieces. And I don't know for how long people are going to rest in pieces.
And as villagers here wait for answers from the police on the motive behind his killing, it's interesting, having happened a few days before Kenyans go to the polls. Rashid Ronald, KTN News, Lifunga village in the county of Siaya.
All right, and so tonight we're asking you to share your thoughts on the murder of Chris Msando. He was the IEBC ICT manager. And of course, that simulation that was set to take place today was postponed. Your views on Twitter? Abukuse Mike, you say, so sad, Kenya has lost such a brilliant mind. The biggest honor to his soul would be to hold free and fair elections. More of your views that continue to come in. And you continue to say, you're just wondering if Chris Msando reported to the police of the danger to his life. What was done? More of your views coming in. Remember, we're asking you tonight to share your thoughts on the murder of Chris Msando. Victor Peter says, Msando died a hero. Don't be afraid of those that maim the body, but not the soul. Keep your comments coming in. You're watching Kivumbi 2017 on this 31st day of August 2017. We've got 7 days to the election, and we are covering that for you in the way only we can here on your 24-hour news channel. We're taking a quick break. We have more news when we return.
KTN News, your official election station.